Hi, I'm Sarah Taylor. I'm an awakening trail guide and an intuitive energy healer. And on this channel, I make videos about the intersection of neurodivergence and spiritual awakening. I'm a late diagnosed, late realized ADHD woman. That's autistic and ADHD. And welcome. I'm glad you're here. And today I just want to talk a little bit about spiritual impatience. I think a lot of times people think they're supposed to be getting some other type of result than what is in front of them, than what is actually happening. There can be an impatience on the spiritual path. We want to learn a new practice. We want our practice to bear fruit. We want this teacher or that healer or that YouTube video to give us an answer and suddenly change our life. And I find that when we're in this type of impatience, we're resisting something. So asking yourself, what am I resisting in this moment? Am I resisting the discomfort of uncertainty, of the unknown? I mean, often it's that. Am I resisting the truth that I don't ultimately have control of my life? We can definitely be a co-creator and guide the circumstances of our life, of course. And at the same time, if you've lived long enough, 10 minutes, you know that things end up happening differently than we envision, than we have in mind, than we expect. And so this impatience on the spiritual path, what's it about for you? Have you experienced it? It could be this yearning to be free of your suffering. I know I had it. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to be free. I also wanted to have different states and different experiences, right? But that's not really what it's about. If you ask yourself, what am I resisting in this moment, and soften, that will always get you pretty far. You might find that you're resisting an experience or a flood of thoughts about what you're experiencing that appears to have something to do with you, with your identity. And that makes you uncomfortable. You don't like what it says about yourself, what this moment infers about you. But it doesn't have to mean anything. Or you might be resisting that everything is always changing, and that as much as we try to grab hold of something, there's nothing to grab hold of. Or you might be resisting your own pain, your own suffering, your own uncomfortable feelings, sensations, emotions. And you can certainly be with the rawness of that without the narrative about them. Being able to experience this moment and not buy into the stories about it all, which we derive meaning from and identity from. Because we can start to grasp at spiritual experiences. We can start to grasp at insights, true, deep revelations, if that's a habit that's ingrained in us, to get to the next thing, to get to the next thing, to get to the next thing. I have found people have skipped over in their impatience their true nature, or a very profound insight. I've sat with people where they have some opening, and then it's on to the next thing. Wait a minute. Ha ha. Let's be right here. Let's let this settle. So you could miss a moment of awakening if you're always trying to get out of something and get to something. And look, If you're an ADHDer, I get it. Nobody ever talks fast enough. When we have all the creative ideas going, when we're enthused, when we're inspired, when there's a lot of Shakti moving through us, it's like we want to do something with it. We want to do something with it. And, you know, it's good to become the huge container that can hold for what is arising. Even this upwelling of, oh. And if you have autistic wiring, an autistic brain, you might be really looking for patterns and systems and structures and for it to make sense. You may be looking for some pattern recognition in what's happening, and maybe in this moment there isn't. You can't see it. Maybe because you're about to peer into what's beneath and behind all patterns. So learning to have some patience on this path is a really good thing to cultivate, which all comes down to being able to be with your experience, right? Which is so fundamental. Being able to withstand the discomfort of your experience and being able to relax and really receive the wonderful experiences. We don't want to gloss over anything. Because waking up isn't a light switch moment in which you're completely absolved of this being human stuff. Life will keep on lifing, and you're going to keep on going. You're here, but you'll just be awake and here, fully meeting your life. So what can you do when you're feeling this impatience? Again, just breathe and ask maybe, what am I resisting? And maybe give yourself 10 breaths to simply be here. Learn to weather the discomfort of the itchiness of really being here. And again, if you're neurodivergent, you may need to stim. What if you stim while you're really present with what is here? If you need to stim in your meditation practice, maybe you're on retreat, who cares if everybody's looking at you in the Zendo or the meditation hall, and you do that, but you stay with your experience. You stay with the resistance, you stay with the impulse to get up, you stay with the stimming and the movement, but you're right there. You're nowhere else. There's no better place to be but here. Because you're here. I wish you much joy on this path. It is a spiritual adventure to be a seeker and a finder and an explorer. So if this was helpful to you, please subscribe and hit the bell for more videos. And I'd love to hear how it's going for you. Are you impatient? What do you do when you feel uncomfortable with your experience? How do you hold for that? How do you meet it? I'd love to hear from you. All right, till next time, take care.